New Hampshire wants a president who will never betray you, who will never forsake you, and who will never sell you out. You're not going to be sold out. And you know that because for 4 years I was your president, and you had the greatest 4 years that you've ever had. And that's why next month New Hampshire is going to weed out the insincere rhino. Does everybody know what that is? Republican in name only. You know, when Biden says we must stop MAGA, we must stop, let's see, is it called MAGA? I think it's called MAGA, which, by the way, is the greatest political movement by far in the history of our country. And I just wish like that would be on a debate stage, because I'd say, Joe, do you know what MAGA stands for? He'd go, no. And then, of course, the announcers, like a Chris Wallace, would come to his, would save him. You have no right to ask that question. Meantime, Joe would be standing there not knowing what the hell's happening. But listen, I say, Joe, do you know what MAGA stands for? MAGA stands for, Joe, Make America Great Again. That's all it stands for. There's nothing tricky. There's nothing tricky. But you'll be able to vote for your all-time favorite president, me, which is you. Together, we will continue to fight for the state like no one has ever before. Nobody's ever fought for your state like I did. I didn't like your governor very much, but I got him everything he needed. This guy, let me tell you, this guy could have run for the Senate. He could have won because he's got a name a long time. I liked his father, actually. Once I won, his father was nice. Before that, he was nasty. But once I won, he was very nice. I don't know what happened to him. But his son is, he's like a spoiled brat. The son is like a spoiled brat. But here's the story with him. So he ran for president without having the courage to run for president. He was all over the country campaigning, and he got like 2. He was beating Ada Hutchinson. That was about it. He was beating Hutchinson by 2 points. Even here in New Hampshire, I think I was beating by 60 or 70 points, right? He was, and you know what? He's hurt himself so badly. So he's endorsed somebody that can't win, has no chance of winning, and he's out there working. But he's a selfish guy. He could have won the Senate at that time. Now he couldn't get elected dog catcher, but he could have won the Senate, and we would have had a majority. But he decided not to. So we put some other guy up there that nobody ever heard of, and he almost won. He lost, but it was close. But he could have, because of name recognition, he could have won. But he was a selfish guy. He said, I want to run for president. And he had no chance, no chance. He had less chance, well, right in the same category. So what he did is, his wish was whatever he could do to stop Trump, because he didn't like me and I didn't like him. But the thing is, I didn't like him. I always felt guilty. I gave New Hampshire everything they asked for and much more. And it's hard to do that when you can't stand the governor, right? But a selfish guy. And when we had the race in New Hampshire, he didn't help us at all. I called him. I said, "Would love to have your help." And he said, "Oh, I'll do that. I'll do that." And he didn't do a damn thing. He didn't lift a finger. We can ask Steve about that. We can ask Corey about that. He didn't lift a damn finger. So he's a selfish guy who can't get elected anything right now. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Because you know what? You have one of the great states, and we're the ones that kept you there. We are the ones that really, and it's important to me. It's like a tradition. And I think what the Democrats did is a terrible, terrible thing. In fact, Biden essentially isn't running in your state. I would say that's a pretty good slap. So they're trying to do some write-in votes to see if they can keep him. But what a mess. This guy, what he's done to our country is a disgrace. What he's done to our country is a disgrace. So to defend New Hampshire workers and manufacturers, I will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. Do you know what that is? That's the greatest thing ever. I love it. If China or any other country makes us pay a tariff or a tax, let's say 200 or 100 or 300%, you have no idea how big they are, then we will make them pay a reciprocal tariff or tax the exact same amount, 100, 200, 300%. Right? That's easy. I had a certain senator that's not into the financial world, and he said to me, so, you know, because we were all set to get that passed, and then we got hit with COVID, and we had to worry about that one. But we were all set to get that passed. Reciprocal Trade Act, my favorite, just about my favorite thing, because all these countries, they rip us off. Now, we put big taxes. You know, you don't realize we took in hundreds of billions of dollars because of me from China. Nobody else took in 10 cents, but we took in hundreds. But we had a reciprocal act with some of them, but they all rip us off. We were all set to get it done, but I had to convince one senator, so I went to him and I said, listen, here's this nice guy, but not into this. If they charge us a tax, we charge them a tax. He goes, wait a minute, let me get this straight. They charge us, we charge them, right? That's it? Yeah, that's it. Very simple. You got my vote. You got my vote. How can you not vote for that? But we have people that would actually say, no, sir, we want to keep it the way it was. And which probably means that somebody's taking pretty good care of them, I'll be honest with you. I will revoke China's most favored nation's trade status, which is ridiculous. They say they're a developing nation. Well, we're a developing nation, too. All you have to do is take a look at our Democrat-run cities, which are being destroyed. And we will impose stiff penalties on China and all other nations as they abuse us. And I did that with China, hundreds of billions of dollars. The reason China is not doing very well right now, as you probably are reading, but they're not doing well is because of the big tariffs that they're paying to the United States. And I want them to do well. I think it's fine, but they can't abuse us. For years and years, they were abusing us. And I was talking about it for years. One of the reasons I ran, and other countries also, by the way, they're not all alone, I can tell you that. I will also immediately stop crooked Joe Biden's latest ripoff of the American people, his plan to give, listen to this, global climate reparations to foreign nations. He's going to give billions of dollars because he's saying that we have a dirty climate. And he's going to give billions and billions of dollars to foreign nations that think we're the dumbest people in history, okay? Billions. He's going to give reparations to other countries that have filthy climates, by the way. You know, the one thing about climate, so we fight like hell, and they put up all these windmills all over the place that if you add the cost of rebuilding, and they're all rebuilt, you know, in China. They're all built in China and Germany. And they said, let's assume you're a big believer in this. They send big fumes in. So you add it all up, and it's terrible. You can't get rid of the blades. They only last 10 years. The energy is the most expensive energy you can do. They kill all our birds. If you want to see a bird cemetery, go under a windmill sometime. You'll see birds like you never saw. If you love birds, you'll start to weep. But it's just the craziest thing. They ruin our plains and fields. They're killing our whales. You know, the whales are coming in. I think we had one whale come in 50 years. This year we had like 12. It's a terrible thing they're doing to our country, and they're doing it under the auspices and basis of we have to maintain our land. So here's the problem. China is right now building 50 coal-fired plants, okay? Big plants, bigger than anything we have. 50 of them. They're building on average one a week, and now I understand the average is going to close than 2 a week. We're getting rid of all of our stuff. For wind, and here comes the wind. Oh, it's not powerful enough to fire up our factories. Solar, you ever see a solar area? They take up areas of the desert. They might as well take the whole damn desert, you know. And I like the concept of solar, but it's not powerful like what we need to fire up our factories. We can't do it. Let's put it this way. It's not working. You can have a little solar, you can have a little, you could even have some wind if you want it. But wind is 42 times more expensive than natural gas. Think of it, 42. And we have more, I call it, what do I call it? Liquid gold. Liquid gold, beautiful, beautiful liquid gold. They have more liquid. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country in the world. Any other country, no country has what we have. And what do? We build windmills all over the place. And what do? We go to Venezuela and we buy our oil from Venezuela. We buy our tar because they sell tar. that we have to liquefy. It's not good. As we speak, New Hampshire families are paying the highest energy cost in the nation. Did you know that? You're number one. Your governor's doing a bad job when you're paying. When you pay the highest in the nation, your governor's not doing a good job. You have the highest energy costs in the United States of America. Yet instead of bringing down prices, Crooked Joe is trying to steal more of your money and to give it away to foreign atonement, they call it. We have to atone for our sins. We have to atone for our sins. Think of it. We're putting ourselves out of business for the last 15 years with the crap that we're building that doesn't work. Germany went this way, you know, but they were smart. They immediately stopped. You know what they're doing now? They're building other plants, fossil fuel plants and coal plants all over their country. They had 2.5 years of economic death because what they were doing wasn't working. They were going to wind and solar and didn't have nearly the power. We should learn from these other countries, don't you think, instead of being stupid? Drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill. Yep. Drill, baby, drill. We'll make so much money. We're going to make so much money. We're going to drill, baby, drill. You know, we were producing, we were third or fourth when I started. By the time I left, you have to see, I got to get the chart. We're going to put it up from now on. It's like Russia, Saudi Arabia, and we were way down here. And by the end, we were way up above both of them and heading up. We were like a rocket ship. It was like a rocket ship sent by Kim Jong Un, just like that. Who was very nice, I will tell you. You know, everyone thought we were going to nuclear war, and I got in, and he and I had a very good relationship. That was nice, very nice. But he's not, no, Rocket Man, yeah. But he's not so fond of this administration, but he's fond of me. And we had a very good relationship. And I tried to convince the fake news, no, that's a good thing, not a bad thing, right? That's a good thing. You know, we don't need nuclear missiles flying all over the place. So we did get along well, but he doesn't like this particular group of people very much, and I understand exactly why. Because he doesn't like incompetent people, actually. They're grossly incompetent. When I'm back in the White House, this globalist, it's really a Biden plot for climate reparations and all of this money going to other countries by the billions and billions and ultimately the trillions will be stopped on day one. We're not going to do that. We're going to start paying off debt. We won't be sending them one penny. I will end Biden's war on American energy, and we will, in fact, as you just said, drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. And we're going to be sending all of the oil and gas all over the world, to Europe, to Asia, all over the world, and then we're going to start paying off massive amounts of debt, and then we're going to give you a further tax reduction from what we already gave you. And we're going to get rid of our debt, and we're going to get rid of a lot of great things, and a lot of, I'll tell you what, we're going to take care of some really big problems. You got some great big things that they thought were so fantastic, and they're horrible. Everything they're doing, like I will kill his insane, very expensive and horrible and just the dumbest thing I've ever heard, electric vehicle mandate. Electric vehicle. They don't go far. Let's say, yes, you're in New Hampshire. Let's say, you know, because Joe gets that mixed up a lot. He'll say, well, let's see, we're in Idaho now. No, Joe, you're in New Hampshire. So you're in New Hampshire, right? You're in New Hampshire, and we want to, let's say, drive down to Boston. Let's say that's about 3 stops, whereas you could go down and back with a tank of gasoline, you know? I don't think you're going to like stopping. And the problem is you won't find a charger. And if you do, it's got lines. And they're trying to enforce this. The problem is, honestly, they don't go far. They're very expensive, and they're all going to be made in China. I was telling the United Auto Workers, I think they're going to all vote for me, other than the top 2 people. I think they're all going to vote for me. I said the deal is a killer because they're going all electric. And if you go electric, you're going to have those cars. They've got to be made in China because they have everything you need for electric. We have everything you need for a nice tank of gasoline. We have everything you need. We have it right under our feet. I think we're going to win the auto workers. I mean, I don't know if you saw in Detroit and Michigan, the vote. We're up 11 points in Michigan, which is pretty unusual. 11 points. Because they get it. You're not going to have an automobile industry anymore if they do this. You know the worst? They want to make all trucks electric. And the problem with the truck electric is a big, beautiful, brand new 18-wheeler, a big beauty, can go 2,000 miles on diesel fuel, right? Clean diesel fuel goes 2,000 miles. An electric truck, comparable size, but there's no such thing because the battery is so big you'd have to take up almost the entire truck to hold the battery. These are minor details, though, according to the Biden administration. So, but an electric truck, you'd have to stop. It goes 300 miles. So you got 2,000 miles versus 300 miles. That means you'd have to stop 6 or 7 times. Whereas the other way, you don't have to stop at all. And the trucking industry is up in arms because they don't know what to do. They're all going to be out of business. You talk about a supply chain problem. Wait till you see that one. And the worst thing is they want to make our Army tanks all electric so that we can go in and we can blast the hell out of a foreign country, but we'll do it in an environmentally friendly way. These people are crazy. Crooked Joe puts China first. He puts Asia first, Ukraine first, illegal aliens first, environmental maniacs first. He puts everyone first, but he puts America last. He puts New Hampshire last. He puts our workers last. He puts our farmers last. He puts everything that's good, he puts it last. And I put New Hampshire first, and I put America first every single time. It's no wonder Biden and the far-left lunatics are desperate to stop us by any means necessary. They're willing to violate the U.S. Constitution at levels never seen before in order to win. They will do anything to win. They'll do whatever they have, whatever they can. And remember this, Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. He's a threat. And, you know, we'll bring in adversaries, and I'll bring it in right now, but even Vladimir Putin. Has anybody ever heard of Vladimir Putin? Of Russia says that Biden's, and this is a quote, politically motivated persecution of his political rival is very good for Russia because it shows the rottenness of the American political system, which cannot pretend to teach others about democracy. So, you know, we talk about democracy, but the whole world is watching the persecution of a political opponent that's kicking his ass. It's an amazing thing.